Good afternoon, and welcome to iCar's industry announcement. I'm Nick Noddy, and I head up sales and marketing at iCar. I'm also going to coordinate any questions you might have about what you hear this afternoon. So if you have a question during the presentation or immediately after the presentation, please use the chat feature in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Just type out that message and shoot it to me. We'll make sure we get that answered for you, okay? So let's get started. You can see the bio of our presenter on your screen. He's been involved in the automotive industry for most of his career. He's originally a Detroit guy, part of the Motor City. He's been with iCar for the past 10 years and has delivered some of the most significant changes at iCar for the industry. He's president, he's chief executive officer. Please welcome John Van Alstyne. John?
Hey, thanks, Nick, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge that all of us across the industry have been living in a very different world the past nearly 2 months and will be for the foreseeable future. We're experiencing business and personal pressure unlike anything most of us have experienced in the past. And we're also focused on protecting ourselves and our loved ones from the COVID-19 virus that's created the chaos that we're all now collectively navigating. So I'd like to start with just a general and heartfelt thank you to everyone in our industry for all that you do, for your commitment to one another and our industry, and for your support of the vision and mission of iCar. And as you likely have heard me say in the past, we don't believe the iCar vision applies to only iCar. We are an industry body, and as such, we believe our vision serves as the industry's vision. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to tell a little bit about a story about kind of where we've been, where we're going, some things that we're doing. And that story begins with our vision. And so the vision here of iCar, which I also believe applies to our industry in general, is that every person in the collision repair industry has the information, knowledge, and skills required to perform complete, safe, and quality repairs for the ultimate benefit of the consumer. And I know many of our colleagues across the industry also believe in this. Our mission, off to the right, we don't talk about our mission a lot, but I think it's relevant to our conversation here today, is to deliver increasingly accessible, on-demand, and relevant education, knowledge, services, and solutions for the collision repair industry. And you see underlined words here over on the vision. You see you see complete, safe, and quality repairs, and the focus on the consumer. We take these to heart, and accessible, on-demand, and relevant on the mission. You're going to see how we've been working to really try to bring that to life. So let's talk a little bit about our progress over the past several months, going back into 2019. So first, let's start with some kind of headlines in terms of some pretty significant increases we had in 2019. First, our gold class counts increased 23% year on year from 2018. We ended 2019 at 8,359, and our platinum techs also grew at 28%. 2018 into 2019. So we now have 32,000 platinum technicians across the industry. So congrats to all of our new gold class shops and all of our new platinums. Welcome to the world of iCar. We're glad to have you. I definitely want to talk about the even better iCar. So many of you might kind of be thinking, well, the even better iCar hasn't been so better. But the good news is that we've made a lot of progress, and I want to tell you a little bit about that journey. So we launched the Even Better iCar, which is the changes to our curriculum, the changes to our systems. That launched on October 7th, 2019. And I'd have to say that it's not something that we just kind of came up with and launched the next day. It was about a 4-year effort to bring this to life. And I would say that 4-year effort also involved about a 4-year effort listening very closely to our industry colleagues to understand what we needed to bring to life. And we listened, we acted, and we believe we've delivered. We've had a couple issues along the way, and I'll talk to that. But I want you to know that the effort was monumental, and it was not without its challenges. So this gives you an idea of the monumental nature of this project that we brought to life back in October. And there's a lot going on here. But the notion here is that the program scope was pretty large, in fact, huge. And all the components you see on the screen here interrelate in some form or fashion. So it wasn't just a matter of, if I go on to the left side of the screen, I'm looking at like purpose-built courses. So we rebuilt our entire portfolio of courses, our live courses, our virtual, our online courses. We have a whole new portfolio of online courses that we launched back in October. More in-shop training we brought to life. And we call that all purpose-built because the courses were designed to be delivered in a certain format, as example. Our knowledge and skills protocol. So we updated our entire inventory of knowledge and required skills for the industry. And the focus is on skills going forward because there's a lot of new skills that are required to repair cars of today. We changed our training alliance program where we're now extending automatic credit. You'll see in a few minutes some of the stats that we've had in terms of credit applied for training alliance. So it's a much more streamlined process for students and for the shops. And you see down at the bottom, gold class, platinum, more logical, demanding. We modified some of the requirements. We raised the bar in some cases. We simplified things in other areas. So we had a lot of program content design changes. And that's what we refer to as PDP 2.0. So that's the Professional Development Program 2.0. Keeping in mind, we launched the Professional Development Program back in 2010. That was 1.0. But it wasn't just the content you see on the left side. It was also our delivery mechanisms. So delivery 2.0. So what you see up on the top right, we've also been very busy modifying how we go about delivering live training, in-shop training, because we had to make that align with the modifications to our purpose-built courses. We also had to make sure that it supported the scale of iCar's role in the industry today. With 8,300 gold class shops, 30,000 plus platinum technicians, we have a lot of training to be delivered. And we had to develop new ways, new methods, new processes in order for that to come to life. You've heard about fixed training sites. Well, fixed training sites was all about raising the bar on the student experience, having a quality location to deliver training with the right atmosphere, a neutral location. We now have over 600 fixed training sites across the United States. We have also implemented quality programming. So we have a quality assurance program now to make sure that we're delivering to specifications, that we're doing the right things, and that we're making continuous improvements on our delivery processes. But it didn't just stop with the program and or the delivery. We've also done a lot of work on the pricing front, the cost to train front, and the total value equation. So if you look at purpose-built courses, for example, our online courses went from 3-hour courses to 45-minute courses. That means more time on the job, less time on the computer, if you will. We have fewer live courses, more online and virtual courses now, which means less time out of shop. So all of that contributes to cost to train. We also have come up with a new mechanism called our collision repair gold class subscription. And that provides for unlimited training at a fixed price per year based on how many techs you have in your shops. So that's been popular, and there's a big value equation there because if you have turnover, you don't have to pay again to train the new techs. And we, as I mentioned, with Training Alliance as well, we've limited Training Alliance fees. So all the credits for courses from partners such as 3M or Chief or like PPG, et cetera. We have a number of alliance partners. All of those courses can be credited now with no fees to the shops. So we've made a number of improvements around that value equation. Not only new, relevant, accessible content, but at a better equation from a cost perspective. And all of that whole black box there, had to be powered by a new IT system, which is our LMS and CRM. And so that's where some of our challenges lie. And I'll talk about that here. So when we launched in October, we had a couple different issues, and I would say they kind of bucketed it in these 4 boxes. First is the My iCar. That's the system interface where we report the training records, the student training history, the advancement to gold class, platinum. So we had a lot of data to migrate. You'll see in the slide a little bit later, we had about 5 million data points that had to converge into the new system. We have to map kind of complex credentialing requirements. We have a transition program for existing gold class shops. They didn't have to meet new requirements until 2021. And so those transition rules had to be mapped in. Anyhow, we didn't get it all quite right, and we had to make some updates to some of the coding that was done there. We also had some issues with our LMS provider. They had to make some updates to their systems. On the curriculum side, our new curriculum has been playing great, but we had some issues with our legacy curriculum that had to be updated to play in the new systems as well. On the customer care front, because we had issues with launch, we had a backlog of calls going into the call center. Quite frankly, our customer care center was kind of overwhelmed with customer support requests. And on customer unique reporting, we had planned to do that coming out of the gate, but we had to focus on fixing kind of some of the important critical system issues out of the gate. So we had to delay getting to the unique reporting. I'm happy to say that those issues we had dating back to October, we have methodically and progressively worked to resolve and eliminate over the past several months. And I'm pleased to say that we were finally in a position at the end of April to announce that we've resolved our launch issues. Our curriculum is now playing properly. Some folks had issues accessing virtual courses. We've updated our Flash player to Adobe non-Flash, which is compatible with systems. The reporting in our My iCar in the LMS system is accurate. And quite frankly, the customer care team has caught up because of the improvements that we've made over the past several months. So hopefully you're now able to get through to your customer care reps. And on the customer unique reporting, we've also completed those reports. So check, 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 check. It's behind us. And now we're really looking to the future in terms of the enhancements that we want to bring. But just to give you an idea of some of the activity we have going on with the system and the new curriculum. As I mentioned earlier, we did transfer over 5 million records. That's a lot of years of history that came out of our old system. It's training history, it's organization information. We have currently just about 80,000 users registered in the system. That's probably about 3/4 of our expected users. We've got 54,000 that are actually using the LMS right now. So a little bit over half of our expected user base is now engaged with the LMS. Just in April, over on the bottom here, we had just under 20,000 active learners in the system in April. And I would say, if I look back to April last year, we had a total of 12,794 individuals trained with iCar in April. So this represents a 50% increase in training activity in the month of April. And it's all through our new LMS, whereas last April, it was not all through the new LMS. And just looking at the online courses, so this is our new online and some of our older online. So we've had 365,000 online courses completed since we launched back in October. Just to give you an idea, that's about a 3x increase in our run rate on an annualized basis since we launched. So our online activity is tremendous, and students are successfully completing courses. And as just a sub note down below there, it says we credited 37,000 Alliance courses. That's also a 3x increase over what we have credited in past years. So this is 6 months worth of crediting. In a typical year, we would have credited 8,000 to 9,000 courses. So that's a benefit of the changes we've made to the Alliance program. And it's also a direct benefit of our sustaining partner program because alliance partners are now also sustaining partners, which makes this all work to the benefit of shops and to the students who are getting the credits and getting them for free. So yeah, so I'm happy to say that we've moved beyond these launch issues, and we're really now working on just planned enhancements. But I really wanted to take this opportunity to pick up on the theme that we kind of started with, this COVID-19 and what's going on, certainly within ICAR as it relates to our response to the issues that we're all dealing with. Obviously, it's a big deal. Over 1 million cases across the U.S., 70,000+ deaths, and that's through today. We're not done with this yet. There's been dramatic impact across the industry. You guys all, you're living it, you know it. You know, shops are impacted. Some are closed, some are barely open. And each state is a little bit different. Different communities are different. But the impact's severe, and we get it. Some shops are taking advantage of some of the slowness in the work to make improvements. We're actually seeing quite a bit of training going on in what we're able to deliver. But what I want to talk to you about is what we're doing to help the industry at this point. And so I think there's kind of 3 key buckets here. First is what we're doing with our renewal requirements, and that correlates to what we're doing with training delivery. And also what we're doing in terms of some pricing relief and some opportunities to save some money and keep training. So first of all, some policies that are in place, in effect. I would say this, that I do believe that ICAR was like way out in front on this COVID thing. We had our annual conference planned for the first week in March. And I have to give credit to my staff team. There was a few folks on my team that were very insistent that the COVID, and we didn't even call it COVID-19 at the time, it was coronavirus, that it was turning into a pandemic and that we had to be very cautious about it. So that led us to canceling our ICAR conference, which was that first weekend in March. And I'm sure there was many in the industry that felt that ICAR was way out ahead of our skis. But you know what? I think just about everybody I've talked to said, well, thank you, ICAR, for doing what you did and having the foresight to cancel that because it was the right thing to do. So anyhow, so we've been in this COVID-19 policy space really since the beginning of March. And we've had a series of different policies. Some are very staff kind of related, you know, what we do to run our offices and things like that. Importantly, we're on a complete work from home, as most organizations. We are not deemed an essential business. I'm glad the shops are essential businesses. So we're in a work from home mode, except for doing critical, operational critical things at the offices. We have been on a pause for live and in-shop training. We did that kind of going into the second half of March. We extended it through April, and we've now extended it again. So we are not going to be delivering live or in-shop training, at least until June 15th. And I would say that we are earnestly working on our restart plans because we want to be ready to go. And we've also made changes to our credentialing, and I'll talk about that. So here's that training delivery. You know, we mapped this out early, and we're fortunate that a lot of our content's now available online and also virtual. It really covers a lot of our content, especially that's required right now. We do have a handful of live courses. Those live courses that are required for Gold Class and Platinum, We actually did a rapid conversion of those courses into virtual format. Those were completed at the end of April, and so those are now available in virtual format. So really all of our required training is available online and virtual, which is web-based instructor-led training. All of that's available on through your computers. What's not available right now is our welding and hands-on skills development courses. The hands-on courses are not required in 2020 for platinum or gold class. They will be required in 2021. Some of our OEM partners do require some of our hands-on courses like MIG brazing and spot welding. So we're eager to get back into that, but we're not delivering those right now. And you can see on the schematic here that we view June to be a yellow, meaning unsure. We're looking at hopefully starting back up June 15th on the welding and hands-on. And we expect to be good the rest of the year, but that's also pending how the virus behaves. In terms of renewal requirements, so we have a few shops because of our launch issues that have been on extensions. And so any shop that has been extended October up through March and then our April renewals, any shop that's still pending renewal has to have the renewal requirements completed by July 31st. So we want to give a little bit more time because we know shops have other priorities right this minute. So we're going to extend that group out to July 31st, and that means completion of live, which is now virtual, online, and other virtual requirements. Welding will not be required. There's a little disqualifier or exception down at the bottom. Welding training certification requirements for that group will be deferred to the 2021 renewal dates. For May through September renewals, we're going to extend that whole group out through the end of September. So for the September group, you got to renew in September, but May, June, July, August will be extended to September as well, recognizing that shops, again, have other priorities. And again, the welding requirement will be deferred to 2021. Starting with the October through December to the end of the year renewals, those will be per the normal requirements, welding included. So again, we do expect to be back into the welding and hands-on skills delivery in the summer timeframe. So we'll be catching up as we go through the year. So for gold class shops that are on subscription, again, we understand the pressure that everybody's on. So for our existing subscribers, we're offering 1 month free on your subscription or 3 months deferred billing. And gold class shops are going to receive an email with further information, and you have to make a selection or tell us what you want to do by the end of May. New subscribers, because this is a great opportunity to train and get ahead of what you need to do for 2020 for the rest of the year as well as for 2021, we're going to offer 3 months free. So that's a 15-month term. Your first 3 months would be free and then carry on with the normal 12 months subscription term after that. And so that's for new subscribers who sign up by the end of June. So hopefully this demonstrates a little bit of empathy for what everybody's experiencing out there. The other thing we're doing too is that we're discounting various different training packages. So we have free access actually for RTS right this minute, which we think is beneficial. We also have some free online courses. We have different packages of online content where you buy 2, get 1 free, for example. So we have a lot of different options that are available for you to get training completed, do it cost effectively, get involved with ICAR, So there's a number of different opportunities here to get engaged and do so in a cost-effective way. So, if I kind of look at what's going on, so despite the industry, having some difficulties getting cars through, I have to give you all credit because this shows a little bit about some of our training activity. So up top, you can see our live training, our online training, and our virtual training. We've actually seen an uptick through the March and April timeframe on those types of courses. So thank you for your commitment to complete safe and quality repairs, and thanks for doing the right things here. You can see down in the bottom left, this is our welding and hands-on, which has gone to zero because we can't get out there and do it. And you can see also then our Ask iCar activity. So this is our tech support, and that's trending down a little bit, but that's consistent with the level of repair work that's going on. I just want you to know that we remain fully engaged to support the industry. Our teams are engaged. Our Ask iCar teams are engaged. We're here to support you. We thank you for doing the right things. I also want you to know too that, not unlike everybody else who's kind of suffering a bit, I mean, iCar had to really tighten our belt as well. We had to go through and do significant expense reductions. We did some layoffs and retirements and furloughs that affected about 21% plus or minus of our teammates, our full-time teammates. We've also taken compensation adjustments, benefit adjustments across the ship. So we share the pain. We're trying to do the right things to support our industry, and we're trying to do everything that we can to support you as we go through this together. A couple other things I just want to touch on as we go into the rest of the year. Just a quick update too on our board and membership model. I think all we implemented a new governance model at the end of last year. This is gaining steam as we go through the course of 2020. We rolled out our new membership program shortly after the first of the year. So we now have a lot of associate members. Congratulations to all of our gold class businesses, our platinum techs, the career technical schools, sustaining partners are all part of the iCar membership family now. And we also have about 70 regular members. And really, I think kind of the important side here is the member council. So we modified our industry segment advisory council approach, which we call ISACs, and we formed a more formal inter-industry member council. And we were actually supposed to kick that off at our conference back in the first week of March, but because we canceled it, it didn't happen. The good news though is that we did hold our first member council meeting last week. Just to give you an idea, these are the initial members of the member council representing the various different industry segments that iCar services. We're pleased as can be with the reception we received and the willingness to serve. It's a great crew that we have, and this only represents half of the member council. We decided to staff half of the member council in 2020 and the second half for 2021, so that we would have staggered terms, if you will, so that not everybody's kind of rolling off at the same time. Member council members have 2-year terms that can be renewed. So anyhow, so we're excited as can be to get this going. We're going to find our way in the coming year here. I appreciate this group for enduring a couple-hour video conference at a time where we're all video conferencing, but it was good. Another key point is on our sustaining partners. I mentioned our partners earlier as related to the Training Alliance, but we're also pleased to be growing our sustaining partner program. We more than doubled the program in terms of participants, 2018 to 2019. So you can see here who our sustaining partners are as of current, and we're really pleased to have this group. The group on the left was partners that were with us in 2018, and then the group on the right is those that we added in 2019. So 35 total. Yeah, and we continue to look to build on this. Okay, so what are we focused on from this point forward? This was our kind of simple kind of score sheet on kind of the high level priorities. We've got a lot of detail that lurks behind this, but at a high level, our 2020 priority was fixing our PDP LMS launch issues, and that was to be done by the end of April. So I guess the good news is that check, that one's done. If I move down, we do plan to continue with the PDP 2.0 transition. We do have more LMS enhancements that we're going to make. These are not like fixing issues that we had, but these are new enhanced user experience enhancements that we're going to be making to make it easier to navigate the system, get more data, all that kind of stuff. So you can look forward to those types of good things to come. We're also going to be working with the industry to get you ready to step up to the 2021 requirements, where our scaling to 50% of technicians in different roles need to achieve platinum status. 100% of structural technicians need to achieve platinum status. So that step up takes place in 2021. So we need to be working with all of our shops and platinums to make that transition in the second half of the year going into 21. We do want to continue supporting industry training growth by virtue of our sustaining partner program through continued growth of Gold Class in support of every, going back to our vision. And we have a number of new and enhanced products that we're working on. I would say top two on the list are ADAS and electric vehicles. But we have a number of other initiatives that are going on as well there. So that's what we got going, as well as our industry relief program, which I just covered, which kind of overdrops everything that we're doing. So I think I just want to kind of wrap this with a thank you. We want to thank you for your patience as we work to resolve our issues with bringing you the even better iCar, bringing it fully to life over the past 6 months. Please, it's where it needs to be coming out of the gate, and please have confidence with our system and our curriculum. Number two, I want to thank you for hanging in there during our COVID-19 crisis and taking advantage of opportunities to train and stay current with your credentialing requirements, and for your understanding and compassion as we do what we can do to give you relief and to serve your needs. And as we get ready to relaunch, the in-shop and the live training as well, which, as all of you might be able to guess, when you're talking about a kind of a nationwide redeployment with states in various different places, it's going to be probably a little bit tricky, but we're going to do our best to navigate those tricky waters. So, in wrap, I just want to wish you all the best. So thank you very much.
So John, here I am. I'm back.
Okay, Nick.
So we've had quite a lively group here, and we have some questions, some really good questions. But before I start that, let me just say this: there are a couple of folks here that I want to talk to. Robert Arati and Keith McCann, can you shoot me a couple of times that work for you, either tomorrow or Friday, and I'll give you a call and we can walk through everything that you mentioned here on this chat. Okay? Thank you. All right, so with that, John, some questions.
Sure.
Good questions. Let me. Here's one from Repair Driven News. It says, will the required live classes converted to virtual ones remain available as a virtual option after the COVID-19 issue ends?
Yeah,
Good question.
good question. Well, here's our intent. Our as we called it, purpose built. So our curriculum was designed to be delivered in a certain manner that was optimized for the learning experience and the conveyance of the learning experience, whether that be a skills based thing or a knowledge based thing, a demonstration, et cetera, et cetera. And so the determination was made that the courses that were designed as live were best delivered as live. But our review of those suggested that some of those live courses could be delivered virtually without any kind of significant compromise in terms of the learning objectives. So that said, we didn't convert every live class to virtual, but the ones that we did, we do intend to take back to live, and that's our plan, because that's how they're best delivered, and that's our intent.
Great. Okay, another question here's one from Body Shop Business. Have you seen a huge spike in online training during the COVID-19 downtime? Good question.
Well, yeah, so I did share that chart. I wouldn't say it's been a spike like that, but it's been an uptick. So we have seen more online training for sure. And so that's fantastic because we're set up to be able to accommodate that.
Okay. There's some duplicates here, so I'm trying to weed through this.
Yeah, maybe while you're looking at that, I'll just kind of add a little bit more about regarding online and virtual. So is there anything unique, for example, that shops need to be thinking about for online and virtual? And the answer to the question that I just posed to myself is no, there's really nothing super unique that you need to be doing in order to be able to access that content. You just need a computer and a browser. Internet Explorer does not work well, so the recommendation is not to use Internet Explorer. So yeah, that's about all you need to know. Some students did have issues with our old virtual courses, and it wasn't because of the courses, it was because of the software system. And so Adobe is the platform that we use for virtual, and Adobe for years was Flash. They relied on Flash technology, while modern day browsers and computers are non-Flash, because Flash creates a problem in the browser world. And so they moved to non-Flash. Well, Adobe also had to move to non-Flash. So we had to make a system update to make that conversion from Adobe Flash to Adobe non-Flash. And so we've completed that journey. And so now all of our virtual courses are now available in Adobe non-Flash. And that change was made like the third week in April. So students should not be having any issues today unless they have to adjust some sort of browser setting that would be specific to their computers. And oh, by the way, if any student does have an issue with a browser and or accessing any course, please immediately have that student get in touch with our customer care group, because they can help navigate through any kind of peculiar browser setting that might need to be adjusted so the experience is optimized.
Great. All right, John, here's a good one that we've talked about more than just a few times. So from Mandy Wynn, the question is, for shops that are trying to become gold certified for the first time, will they be exempt from the welding certification requirements to become gold?
Right. No. No.
Okay, next question.
No, the answer is no. So, we talked about the notion for gold class shops to have their welding renewals extended and deferred until 2021 because of our inability to get out there this year. But those shops have already been certified, and or those technicians have already been welding certified. And they're coming up for their In this case, they're 5-year renewal because that's what our requirements used to be. Going forward, it'll be 3 years. So those shops have already been certified for welding, or those technicians have been certified for welding. And what we're doing is we're going back in to renew that. Whereas a new gold class shop, we have not certified those shops from a welding perspective. And we just don't believe that our program would have integrity to be able to grant gold class without having welding actually completed. So, so unfortunately, if you're trying to get to gold class between now and June 15th, that might be a problem, but I'd encourage you to get in line because after June 15th, we'd like to be delivering welding training, and we'd like to be able to get out and take care of you. I would also offer this, that if you're trying to meet the requirements of a particular network program, it could be an insurer or an OEM, I would encourage you to touch base with them. I don't know that they would have any changes in their requirements. I think most of them probably think welding's pretty important. But that might be another alternative while you're waiting for us to get out.
Great. And this question, kind of similar, John. It says, will there be a grace period for all the techs that are on shelter at the moment? Give them time to catch up on their training. Most of the techs at this shop had completed Pro Level 3. We need time to get us back on base.
Well, the technicians are on that same deferral schedule, so it's not just gold class, but it's also platinum deferrals. So like the extension through the end of July for the shops, through April, and then the extension through September for the May through September shops. So the technicians are on that same deferral cycle, if you will. So hopefully that helps.
Good. Okay. Here's a good one. It says, all the virtual training is booked. Why are there limited seats in virtual classes? All techs need training. Can't get it. Our gold class trip has been great. Okay.
Okay. Well, hang in there. We'll have more available. The demand is soaring. That was one of those graphs that had a little bit more demand than the online one, but yeah. So we're actually working to recruit some additional instructors right this minute on the part-time basis, but we can't just throw anybody into a course. They need to be properly trained. So that's the train the trainer activity that we conduct. It's part of our quality standards. So we can't just put any instructor into a course. They need to understand the material and be conversant in how to deliver it. And another reason that we don't just kind of have an endless number of students participate, it gets back to that student experience as well. And the reason that those courses are virtual as opposed to an online course is because a virtual course is intended to have some level of engagement with an instructor. And it may not be the same level as like a live course where there's more engagement in a live course, but there's still an engagement with the instructor in a virtual course. And if you have too many students in a virtual course, well, then that negates the ability for that instructor to be able to engage with the students. So we have to find that kind of happy spot of servicing demand, but also being able to complete the learning objectives in an effective and high integrity manner as well. So that's why we have some caps on those courses.
Okay. Here's a good one from Alicia Hine. Why did ICAR add so many additional classes for each pro level before? Tons of classes to be taken in order to get the status we had before.
Yeah. Well, we have more courses, but if you look at it, the hours of training actually went down. So I think I used earlier in my explanation of the changes we launched back in October. Some of our online courses, for example, used to be 3 hours in length. And That course may have covered a lot of different topic areas, and actually a lot of the content could have been redundant course to course to course as well. So we eliminated all the redundancies, and we've shortened up the courses in general to make them more concise and more effective from a learning experience. But what that led us to do was to kind of create more modular approach to learning. So it's in more bite-sized chunks, if you will. So there are more bite-sized chunks, but the overall meal is not bigger. It's just in smaller pieces that you have to add together. So on a total hours of training perspective, we've actually gone down in general. In some cases, we did go up, but that's in the structural training area, the structural technician area. But that's principally driven by, over several years, the addition of additional skills that'll be required. So yes, we do have more courses. Guilty as charged, but hopefully you'll find it to be a better learning experience.
Okay. John, next question from Marie Peavy. Hi, Marie. It says that welding certification is the only class that's holding up a shop and achieving the gold class designation. Is ICAR communicating to DRPs of decisions made by ICAR?
Yes, we are. And actually, all the OEMs and insurers that we work with support our policies. So we're actively engaged with all the insurers and OEMs that have requirements. We have over 20 some insurers and OEMs that have requirements for gold class, and they support our policies. Now, I assume the way that question was asked, it seemed to imply a new gold class shop, right?
I think, it could be.
Yeah, if it's a new gold class shop, it goes back to the question I answered earlier, which, yes, they would have to complete welding in order to become gold class. If it's a renewing gold class shop that's already completed welding, which that would be the case because they're gold class, well, then their renewal would be deferred, and their welding requirement, depending on when their renewal is, could be deferred to 2021. So it depends on where that's at. So I think, Marie, probably the best thing to do would be to talk to customer care about the specific example or the specific situation that you have.
John, here's one from Body Shop Business. It says, do you think COVID-19 will condition repairers to do more online training?
Well, I think that's definitely going to be the case. I think we're all learning new things. Yeah, doing like what we're doing right now, it's fantastic. But I think we're all going to learn some new ways to skin the cat, and hopefully it does break down the barriers if they may have existed to adopting and embracing online, because it is an effective medium. But again, online's not it's not the solution to everything. It's why we have virtual instructor-led training. It's why we have live training, and that's why we have in-shop training. It depends on the nature of the learning objective. But we do believe it serves a role. We do believe it can be a high-quality experience, and we do believe our new content is high quality. So I'm hopeful that the shops will trust that experience and that they'll find it effective and embrace it going forward.
Okay. And we are dwindling here with the number of people on the call. How about one more question, John? This is
sure.
Do shops need special equipment for our techs to take ICAR's online or virtual classes?
No, they don't need anything special. Just a browser that works. Don't use the Internet Explorer. Chrome is good. Firefox is good. But no, just need a browser. You need internet connectivity. And if you're having a problem with probably a setting, in your browser, our customer care team can help navigate that.
Great. Okay. So, I think that's a wrap then, John.
Well, excellent. Appreciate your help with those questions, Nick, and to our industry partners and our Gold Class shops and our technicians. And I wish you all the best as we navigate these COVID-19 waters. We're trying to help on that navigational journey, and we thank you for your commitment.